So I was at CCO this year, and we had a presentation that Sean did on the Gadugi Corps that he's now heading. I cornered him at the and said, we really would like to hear more about this and get an opportunity to share it with our membership, but also with the other Cherokees at large. It's how many ways can we help to get this information out? And I think it's a great program, but it's also not just for the on-reservation support. It's also support of ourselves as at-large citizens, right? So we can reach out, join with the Gadugi Corps that he's heading. And if there's an issue in our neighborhood, he has people to call now. So that's part of the bigger cause of what we're doing, right? It's somebody knows there's a problem. There's people they know to call everywhere in the country and or probably, if we keep pushing this, in the world, right? So with that,
I'm hoping for that.
I greatly appreciate you coming on today. And I'm going to bring your presentation up if you're ready, and we'll turn it over to you.
All right. Before we do the presentation, I just want to thank you for having me. And I apologize for some time back. We were scheduled and I didn't show up. And Joseph can convey my apologies that I made. But I was for sure looking forward to visiting with you. First and foremost, Cherokee Nation citizens. No matter where we're living. I told some of the group I'm in Peavine, Oklahoma, close to Stillwell. Grew up right here in the heart of Cherokee Nation. And like a lot of us feel here, no matter where you're at, we're all Cherokees. We need to be connected. And a lot of the states that I've been in, Washington included, Oregon, California, lots, you would be amazed that how many people they will come to my table and say, somebody mentioned Peavine, Oklahoma to me. And so many times you wouldn't believe I have cousins or neighbors that have a direct connection to folks just all over. So thank you for having me. I'll keep this pretty short and simple. That's the kind of person I am, pretty simple. I just turned 50 years old this year. I'm married. I have 4 children, 28 and 25 this year. 28-year-old cuts hair in Tulsa. My son, he's living in Nashville. I gave him the music bug. He's been up there 3-4 years writing and singing, and I haven't paid his rent once, so that's a success. 20-year-old daughter, getting ready to get married. Then I still have my baby, 15-year-old daughter at home, Sammy. Wife Christina, I couldn't have done. I served 8 years on the tribal council. That's 2 different elections, and I termed out. I couldn't have done any of that without the support of my family, and for sure. Taught school for several years, and my 8 years on council, I was somehow able to juggle teaching school and being on the tribal council, and I just feel blessed for that. I was always involved before Cherokee Nation. Before I was on the council, I was always involved in the community. I've always loved music. I have a good friend there in Welling, Oklahoma. Kind of took me under his wing and taught me how to auctioneer. I love to do that. I don't get to do it as much as I want to. But early on, different benefits, I was able to get out in the community and just try to do what little my family and I could have a music benefit. Plus, I could sell the pies. I've always had that desire to just help when I could. Sometimes on a very small level, sometimes on a bigger level. That's what the council allowed me to do and be a part of. And it was some of the best 8 years of my life as being a part of the tribal council and being able to help some. I see a little bit of jumping. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Are you able to hear me? Okay. But just that's what led me to eventually run for tribal council here in Adair County. Lots of Cherokees, lots of needs. And I did a lot of community work, and just always, again, just saying every phone call, I'm going to try to help. Now, help sometimes was just a straight answer, and sometimes not the answer they were looking for. But 2 terms on council, when that was coming to an end, our great chief, I witnessed him for 8 years, 4 years, he was the Secretary of State. And our deputy chief, we were elected our first 4 years together. I'd never met him, but come to find out, we're what they call double first cousins. Just a few generations back, there were 2 Warners married 2 Crittendens, and I know his great aunt very well, Carrie Philpott. But Brian and I instantly had a connection on council. I knew his heart. It was just to help people, simply help people. So to say that, I was saying that because I got to know Brian. I got to know Chief. And when they approached me about an idea that they've had, about a vision of volunteerism, and there's a national service participant aspect of it that I like. But at the end of the day, those 2 and lots, the council members, but when they approached me, just community minded, I love the simplicity of it. Cherokees helping Cherokees. And of course, the Gadugi Corps, with Gadugi being working together. And a lot of us say for the common good, or working together for what is best for all. But it's Gadugi. I've seen it. Things in all aspects simply work better working together. So that's how I came to this position. We did a task force on some of the needs. You may have seen the survey early on, and we just said, get out there and let's help some Cherokees, provide opportunities for Cherokees to help Cherokees. And I think I can get to the majority of that with the slideshow there, Joseph.
All right.
All right. Cherokee Nation, Gadugi Corps. Since August of 2023, I termed out in August, and I jumped right into this. It was me, myself, and I. We formed a task force, first of all, to kind of get a game plan. Chief, deputy have laid out a great roadmap of what they were wanting to see. The great folks on the task force, I wish I could mention all their names right now, but I won't. All community minded, all Cherokee minded. That's where this came from. We sent over the idea to one of our artists there at the Nation. I believe it was Dan Mink. Does a lot of great artwork, but he came up with this symbol for us that we use daily. So, all right, next slide, please. All right, little over a year. A lot of that, like I said, was the task force, our researching, and good folks like Miss Omley had reached out early on, and she has been patient with us, and we're ready to we're fully staffed now. I'll get into that a little bit later, and we're off and running. So Miss Omley, we're going to do some good things together. But essentially, Gadugi Corps overview year 1. We got right into it. I should have listed, and it'll come following, but there's really 5 branches. That is the blueprint. That there's little little arms that even extend further from that. We're in education, disaster emergency response, mentorship, community service, and at large. And each of those have a different Gadugi Corps name. At large Corps, education Corps, for example. But we spend a lot of our time cleaning up storm debris, cleaning up Cherokee neighborhoods, moving elders, delivering firewood. We're in that season right now. Providing volunteer opportunities to citizens of all ages, aiding the academic efforts of our communities, finding ways to give at-large citizens ways to volunteer. I'm so excited about that. Our Cherokee Words and Phrases mentorship project. I really want to explain that to you a little bit further later. Got to help our great speaker services where, as it should be, some of our speakers, they're all of the Cherokee Nation first language speakers. They've been placed on that pedestal with this administration where they should be. And there's lots of neat things happening for them. One of the things, we're delivering appliances early on. My crew got to help speaker services do some of that. And we're forming teams to aid in emergency situations in their communities. That will be a part of the at large. I've met some of you when we had our at large meeting. Met some of you at our conference, and what we're calling it, of course, is here on the reservation, the different communities we go out, and at large we're going out simply getting names of people saying, I want to help. You know, Cherokees helping Cherokees. And, you know, I've been able to get a lot of names in lots of communities, a lot of states. And I'll get into some more of that, how that affects the at-large in just a bit. And again, the simplicity, Cherokees helping Cherokees, and along with that goes connection. We all want that. So really excited, Joe. We're ready for the next one. All right, the vision, Chief and Deputy, developed August 2023. Allow greater opportunities. We were careful to say greater because you guys, organizations like you, have already been doing this for years. So we didn't want to say provide you opportunities because you've already been getting opportunities yourself. But we want to help in that process. And again, through volunteerism, national service participation, Cherokees helping Cherokees. I've got a crew that goes out now. This is a lot of my staff. This particular gentleman right there in the middle, he called me, in good timing before the cold weather. He said, Sean, I just got a whole lot of firewood that I've cut down, and I want to donate it. And I get lots of calls, several calls about people wanting to sell wood. This gentleman here in the middle, Mr. Oliver, he just said, Sean, if you can bring some boys down there and volunteers and staff, I'll load you up. So we've made several trips to him, and he could be doing lots of other things. He could be selling it, especially in this time of year. But that's some of my staff. I've the two young men on the right, the gentleman in the back with the hood on, he's a college student. He worked to get his some of his Cherokee Nation scholarship volunteer hours with me this summer. And Connor Leach there in the red and black jacket, he goes to Kansas State, and he's came in a couple different times earning his volunteer hours. And both of them, such great young men. Connor sticks out in my mind. I said, Connor, Kansas State, that's a big place. You can get these hours anywhere. And he looked me in the eye, as young as he is, and said, I think he even said, Mr. Crittenden, he said, Cherokee Nation is really, really helping me. There's no other place I want to come and give back than with you guys. So, that as that sounds really good, but it also felt really good as well. So we can go on to the next slide. Education Corps. There's a couple of things that we do. The big part, we provide academic camps to help students expand their knowledge and supplement and teaching school. We didn't want to come in there and say, look what we're going to do in a day or a few days. We just said, hey, let us help supplement. So our first one was a reading camp here in Adair County, because I've taught school here several years. I know the administrators, I know the people, I know the communities. So I got with Chief, and that's Deputy Secretary of State Kanan Duncan, and I said, what I'd like to do is have a camp for to-be third graders, because working in the schools, reading is a thing, and again, knowing we weren't going to come in and look what we can do, and so what we decided to do, these books you see there, my staff and I and some of the facilitators, we just put together a workbook. So we celebrated reading for the day there happened to be at Peavine School, and I didn't apologize for that. I just said, hey, our first one, we're going to have it where I know. And all the county schools participated, and I didn't know how it would work because we held this in June. School was out, but I wanted it to be a success. We went to each school several times, inviting them. I had volunteers from high school drama classes dress up in characters and help me just go visit each classroom, inviting them. I took my old guitar a few times and just sung to them, and just I didn't want it to not be attended. So with the school's help, because when school's out, students and families, lots of times, me included in mine, it's summertime, but lo and behold, this picture you see down here, we had 80 students, just the majority Cherokee students, and we had 10 different facilitators there, lots of volunteers. We fed them, had a neat little cereal bar for breakfast, and fed them snacks and lunch. But the books there, the neat thing, I visited with Chief about this. I said, Chief, I want this to be a little different. So we celebrated reading, but the theme was family engagement, because I ran into some of that at school. There's great and middle ground and some lacking. But these workbooks, there was about 25 different lessons, heavily involved in reading to the child, heavily involved in family activities, some games, and they did that throughout the month of July. When school started, they turned them in, and the ones that finished that, Chief made sure we gave them a nice gift package, and several of them completed that. We've got one planned in South Coffeyville. This is going to be a more towards the bigger school there, the transition into an older grade. So we're going to do more planning, dealing with distractions, study, and we're in the works of doing one in Delaware County. So we're going to do all of those we can do. A big part of what we do, we support Cherokee Nation scholarship recipients. At first we just send out emails and just say, hey, we have a volunteer opportunity here for you. And they have to do 25, because our great nation, our dollar amount that they get each semester is $2,500. So they have to have 25 volunteer hours. We're starting to have them come in almost daily. And I just tell them to meet us at the office. We got so much going on. We can help you with that. So that's a big part of what we do education wise. And now I'm going to let the cat out of the bag here, but I like to save it for the at-large portion. I visited with Miss Omley about this, and the good lady that was talking about her grandchildren. I would like them to get involved here, and just any of you there, Joseph, everybody here. Um, what has worked great with the at-large communities, you know, we go to different states and people have jobs. They want to give back. One of the things we offer at large, we'll talk about it. I'm jumping the gun here, is, we love for sister community groups to come in, and we're going to be facilitating some of those. I've had different individual families come in that we've facilitated opportunities there. Some of them came to me, lots of them, Sean, I can't go back. I can't come back. I've got to work. How can I help? Started in Denver, an engineer there. Nice guy. We were talking. I said, what about some of these reservation schools? What if we zoom in for 20 to 30 minutes to some of these, what's turned into high school, kind of junior, senior readiness? And by golly, that's taken off. And we've done several. And with this new year, we're planning, we're filling dates. And again, that's Cherokee citizens living wherever, like yourselves. Zooming into, we're in Sequoia High School there in Tahlequah, Jay High School, Stillwell High School. We've got Oaks, and we're adding them all the time. And it's really become a kind of a full-time job for one of my employees. But simply, hey, I'm a Cherokee. I live in Puget Sound. It's good to talk to you. Here's my story. Whether it be, I'm a carpenter, a plumber, a teacher, a doctor. There's a great one that I've been dealing with a lot. Marine biologist from California. She just zoomed in and, had her slides of all the research she gets to do. And hey, I'm a Cherokee. This job is out here. And lo and behold, there'll be somebody kind of like me that, hey, that's all nice, but what about the money? And, on reservation students, Peavine, Oklahoma, I didn't see the ocean till I was way, way up there. That's something that they see a fellow Cherokee. Look at this job that I do. Sometimes look at the money, or look at and not always about the money. It's just so many different professions. Just saying, and here's how being Cherokee inspired me to, get through life, get through some things. Being way out here, sometimes I don't have the access or the things like people like myself do, culturally wise. I can go grab language class. I can go watch a cultural activity just anytime. But those folks out there, they say it's so refreshing, to give back and for the students to see. So please, I'm going to give you a slide in a minute where I want each of you to contact one of my supervisors there. Her name is Casey Twist, and that is an immediate way for us to connect and give back education wise. All right, Joseph. Right. Disaster Emergency Response Corps. All right. So again, early on, we were building it, and we have this Disaster Emergency Response Corps. And later on, we're going to have some professional training, but I found out real early that, if you talk FEMA, you talk emergency response, anything that you get a certificate for, it's real heavy. There's lots of things, as it should be, to do. So what that's amounted to as far as volunteer wise, is again, I go to these communities and I get names. I get names of people, and people are great to join the database. And what that's amounted to is the calls that our council members, our administration, our different citizens, and speaking from experience, the council. Um, for 8 years, and again, I was in Adair County. There was lots of calls, and Cherokee Nation, if you need a college scholarship, fill this out. Human Services, fill this out. Health, I can send you there. Just the different aspects. Some of these things, there wasn't a perfect box for. I'm so proud of my staff and the volunteers. We've been able to help. The Claremore tornadoes, and there's been others a little bit before in Bell, and then others passed here in Adair County. We were expected, and we wanted to just help. We can't be in the middle of the fires or the storms, but people have damage to their homes. They have trees down. They need the debris hauled off. That took up a lot of our time, and we've met so many great Cherokees. And this is some of the volunteers, some of the staff that really we're there, we're available with this winter blast coming through. We're not that used to winter blast. We've got wood stockpiled for emergency situations, and sometimes I don't want to minimize it because it's not a minimal thing, but firewood don't make the top billing a lot, but moving an elder from a house to a new house or another house, emergency is such a relative term that we try to meet those calls, and with the help of lots of volunteers, and I've got a good staff too. So that's growing. We're going to get more into some professional type training, but right now we're just trying to meet some needs, and it's going great. All right, Joe. Here's some of what I was talking about, at-large Zoom mentorship project. That's the fancy way of saying good folks like you getting on video, encouraging students. And the neat part of that is, and I tell the folks just like you, Miss Amelie, different ones, your preferred contact. And that way students that are interested in going down that career path, have questions about, hey, what is it like to be a Cherokee in California or Washington? I'm telling you, that's big here. I'm not saying that there's not a lot of widely traveled folks here, but speaking from experience, I wasn't. It would have been so neat to hear from someone, like you, because all I've ever known is being Cherokee here. So if you would write this down, and of course, mine is Sean-Crittenden at Cherokee.org. Casey handles these for me, and I'm included in a lot of them. I jump on there and visit and get to be a part of a lot of them. But please tell your grandchildren and you, ma'am, and Miss Amelie, everybody here, Joseph. I think I seen Mr. Ellis. I think that was your name. But please just find some time and say, hey, I would like to see some dates and times, and it's making an impact already. It just and connection wise, because you guys probably have the potential or the means to come to Tahlequah, but sometimes you don't. So, but I know that connection means something to you, and this is a meaningful project. So please join us on this. All right, Joseph. Now, this is something that came about that I am really, really excited about. Cherokee Words and Phrases Mentorship Project. That's a fancy way to say I've got on staff 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, graduate of the Cherokee Language Master Apprentice Program. He's a Cherokee elder. He went through the full program, and he'll tell you himself that he's not a fluent, or could write you a letter right now and word for word in Cherokee, but he has the credentials. He has the full support of the language program, our great language program. And my idea was to at first say, all right, because I was at a meeting, I believe San Diego, and a lady said, man, I love these language classes that come out, and we love that. And she said, it don't fit my schedule. So that got my brain going a little bit. And so I asked Chief, I said, what do you think about this? I do not want to advertise it like our great language classes, and I encourage you, if you have a chance for our language program to come to you, there may be something going on already, but I know some at-large communities have language classes come to you, and I didn't want this to be a part of that. They are professionals, and I encourage that. Also, the online resources, that is great. And this is nothing trying to compete or anything with the current things. Ma'am, you'd mentioned some of the classes that you're taking. Took one this morning. This is nothing competitive with that, and we encourage that. But the neat part of this, Joe, a lot of what he does, he's got a phone in his office. He's got a work phone. He's got a computer. And he wants to, and he's already set up, I don't know the number, but my idea was, guys, here on this, Joseph and crew, let's say you're sitting around with your family and you're trying to learn some Cherokee. Wonder what that is. My idea for this was you to pick up that phone and call Joe and say, hey, Joe, how do you say I'm thirsty? Hey, hello, Miss Omley. Thirsty, huh? Octadagun. Octadagun. And this is a Cherokee elder that it can be as simple as that. And he's also scheduling all up to 30 minutes one-on-one with you. And it's really supplemental. And the idea was to have a Cherokee elder that's went through all the classes. And if there's something that he don't know, he's got all the resources from a place he's just came. If you're wondering how to say a word and phrase, the idea is if you get the time, you can schedule weekly if you'd like. Mr. Joseph, now I get excited about this. I hope other presenters, I hope I'm not going longer and talking more than I should, but I get excited about these things. But the idea, let's say 10 phrases about weather, just connect with Joe, learn how to say it's cold, it's hot, it's cloudy, it's windy, and that is Cherokee language. It's not the full-blown professional thing that I encourage, but that's what, growing up in the middle here, I was a janitor at a school in my early 20s, and I had the opportunity to work with a full-blooded speaker that, just to pass the time, I would say, hey, he would teach me a phrase every day, and I would write it down like it sounded, nothing like professionally written, but I could fool you on my Cherokee. I would not pretend to be fluent, would not to pretend to be a speaker, but when I go outside and say Uyatla and say it's cold, and I do that quite frequently, Uyatla, my daughter, my family, my friends. What's that mean? It means it's cold in Cherokee. You know, that is spreading the language word, phrase at a time. A grandchild, wants to say a phrase. But the thing about my little project here is accessibility to, I mean, you can get a book that has great information, but to hear it from a elder Cherokee that knows the language, I think that's a really, really good thing to be able to access him. Pretty much, he's on the clock, and he's even done some after hours. Um, so please write that down. Give him a call. Great guy, and I'm just so excited about it. And again, Cherokees helping Cherokees. Nothing profound. Um, I couldn't come up with anything profound, but I'm really excited about this portion. So, all right, Joe. All right, national service participants. That's a big, big circle there. One of the ways we're doing that, again, having served on tribal council, we've got great organizations here. And great people working it. Sometimes on the boards, I noticed here, they're working people too. The idea, visited with chief and deputy, is hey, some of these places just need an accessible person. And we've been able to place a few on the reservation just to help with the operations, the day-to-day, people coming in. I've got housing issues, what direction. They keep some applications there. That's one of the way Community Service Corps, these national service participants, are really helping here on the reservation, just to kind of be in the communities at these buildings, and simply being accessible. And they'll do a few hours a week for us, and some of that, they'll report back. It's just work that was needed, and they're here helping Cherokees. Community service, that gets into, these kind of bleed over, some of them. A lot of the calls I was talking about, mowing, weed eating, moving, cleaning yards, it kind of all merges together. We try to keep them in one little box, but it's also a part of community service. All right, Joe, I think I'm ready for the next one. And here's the good one. All right, so the top two girls early on, twin girls from Florida. They wanted to spend their break. They live in Tampa, real close to Mickey Mouse, but they wanted to spend their week or so down here giving back. Their timing was, I guess you could say, good and bad. Good for us because it was during the Claremore tornadoes, and we were running everywhere. They were able to man a table there at Claremore. People were coming in, just had their home destroyed, but they were manning the table that assessed needs. They also worked in our food distribution. They just spent a week with us from Florida. Great family. They're planning on coming back. And this is just an example of some of the individuals. We get lots. These two are met them at Sacramento, down near the Green family. They as well live pretty close to the ocean, and we worked them. A lot of chainsaw, a lot of brush. We run the chainsaws, but a lot of brush, a lot of hot weather, and I spoke to them recently, and I was real pleased to learn that they're doing well in school, and just they had a great time. Their dad, Mr. Green, veteran, this is just an instance of people that do come in from the at-large. We do groups. But all right, so the database thing, we visited some early on. So when I come to those at-large meetings, I try to make good of my time. Um, you know, I really feel like I'm on a mission when I'm at those meetings to meet as many people and as many people I can get to sign up to just say, hey, I want to help here. Possibly I can come in, or I want to be a part of the Zoom project or different things. But how that's worked with the few. And Joseph, our first meeting, I was able to get quite a few names. I don't know if I sent that to you or not, but the idea of me collecting names is in when you guys have an event or a need there, some of the folks that I meet at large, some of them are members of your organization, some of them are not, some of them will meet with you, some of them don't though. So if kind of some low hanging fruit, if I can get you the database of people um, that I get that reach out to me from your area, I can I can share that with you, and you can do the same. Hey, Sean, because all right, I got to run this rabbit because it's a good rabbit. All right, the 23rd, the chief is going to celebrate our 1 year anniversary. We're a little over a year, but he's putting in there again. A lot of it was building and stuff, but that same day we're coming out with a website. Now we've got some talented people working on that website. It's going to be a great one, which also, ironically, our portal, Gadugi portal presence will begin that day. So it's going to go out to approximately 470,000 Cherokee citizens, and I'm hoping and predicting that a lot of those that sign up will say, I want to volunteer locally and I want them to come with me. However, but on the portal, I will have people that say, I want to help locally. So, Joseph, I think with this organization, once we get rolling, um, and when they say, I want to help in my community, let me know when there's a need. That's saying, let me know. So you guys working together with me, I think we can help each other no matter where we're at. So right now we've got a QR code that we put together just so we could have it. And I've got quite a few on that, but it will pale in comparison to the when we get the portal up and running on the 23rd of this month. But so the QR code will go away for now. So we'll just have one database where, let's say Puget Sound, something's going on. I type in Puget Sound, how many people want to volunteer there? Boom. And the technology is so impressive. I'm new at it, but that's one way that we can work together. This initiative year 2, I want to do. In fact, Joseph, who is your sister community? Do you have one well established?
We actually have one in Little Kansas. The name escapes me, but yeah, we'll talk about that.
Okay, and I would love um, to help, facilitate some things. And there's that's a part of our budget and initiatives to, I don't want to say strengthen, but just maybe help with the connection more if there's not already a big connection. But that's going to be something I want to work with you guys on, because we can help facilitate coming home, doing a project. That's kind of our primary goal, but also on the table is bringing some of the, in this case, Little Kansas folks to you. And we want to be creative, and that's the beauty of a program not really a pilot program because we're we're here to stay. But the beauty of a new program is that we can be creative, and I want folks like you to have my contact to say, hey, what about this? And that, again, that's how the Zoom project started. I can't come home. What about this? Um, and I'm accessible all the time. Um, so at large wise, I think it's only going to get better, and I hope some of the Cherokee things, the Zoom things, the opportunities to come here, and um, I hope on a Cherokees helping Cherokees um, platform. I hope you guys are excited about that. So I think, Joe, we may have a few more left,
Yep.
and this is the Gadugi Corps staff. Let me see if everybody's here. Um, we'll start up here. Melissa Dew. She was work experience, just kind of an entry level lady that started with me early on. She proved herself. Now she's in a position, program assistant, that that really helps on the recruiting volunteer side, the different things with the at-large mentorship, education. Mackenzie, she's a customer service rep, works hand in hand with Melissa. Casey Twist, he's my supervisor there at the office with the education, the mentorship, the Zooms, the other things heavily involved. Um, let's see, Doug Kester. Now, a while ago, Joseph, um, he said, I didn't want to catch you on a chainsaw. Well, Joseph, I've had lots of experience with one, and I'm proud of that. The good administration have really staffed me up where I'm able to kind of take care of the orchestrating things, and I do go out occasionally. But Doug, I've got a supervisor that oversees and makes sure, those emergency response, the moving, the mowing, the tornado stuff, just really needs that we get that we can help with. I've got a supervisor, got a program assistant there, Cody. He's been with me about since day one. He started out as I said, Chief, I need a get in the truck guy. You know, when there's something going on, I need to get in the truck guy. I don't know what I'm going to call him, but he's been with me. So he's with that crew. Back there, there's Ty and Keith. So 4 healthy guys that, we've got equipment, skid steers, just about all we need to go meet needs that happen in the community. And of course, um, you know, they work with the volunteers, and we needed somebody with experience to, just any old 18-year-old couldn't hop in, just somebody that didn't have the safety training. And so we're excited about that. Of course, there's Savannah. I'm so proud that Gadugi Corps falls under the umbrella of CCO. We started out in education, that good group. Just made sense. I was an educator, and in the formation of Gadugi Corps, done some great things with education. Of course, we've got an education portion, but CCO, they've got a team of workers and a great team. So when I found out we were moving, of course, Savannah, you know her, takes care of business, but yet a really good person as well. But that's the old staff. Here's our anniversary. Okay, live on the Gadugi portal. So All right. Join us. And Gadugi and Donda Gohai or Donna Gohai. Lots of different ways to say that. Um, well, if I can't imagine that you're not tired of hearing my hillbilly voice, but I tried to convey the main points, and I would sure love to open it up for any questions. And thank you for listening. And I don't apologize. I'm passionate about this. I was presented a challenge, and I go to work every day and just try to do my darndest.
Could you put up that site again that showed what you
I'll
What
get
was
it
that,
up.
sir?
I'll get it up. Yeah,
Ellis, he'll put it back up and
Okay.
send it out to everybody.
okay.
Yeah, and Joe, feel free to share the whole slideshow by email with the folks as well.
I appreciate that.
Well, no, Sean, I want to tell you a little bit about the language of what we've done in our Cherokee community of Puget Sound. Joseph asked me
Yes,
5
ma'am.
years ago if I would run a study class. And that was before I'd only had Ed Fields for one class. And Ellis was in the class. We studied together for these past 5 years. And we've had some guests come and do it. Tanner was last fall, and we've had Charlie McVicker this past few months, passing it back to me. But we enjoy curriculum and things that we discuss. The last few weeks with Charlie has been more discussions of, oh, I want you to meet my friend. This is my partner. Let's go to the store together. Those kinds of phrases. But we also have spent a lot of time. Eva Garrett gave us a pronoun prefix workbook. And we did set A, and then I did one for set B as well. So we did all the pronoun prefixes, including the plural for the direct objects. And we
Wow.
studied several verbs of that together. So yeah, we're marching along, and it's been a great thing. We've been doing it, I think, longer than anybody else was, because Joseph was onto it. He got right out there and he's like, let's do this. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't know, but it's turned out to be quite successful.
You know, that is spreading
It is. Isn't
our
that wonderful?
language, and folks like you, and I could just see the passion just visiting with you briefly.
Mhm.
You know, and so thank you for that. And again, our project really
Yeah,
informal.
I'm going to get in touch with Joe. You call him Joe. I'll
Yes,
get in
and
touch
just
with him and let
just-
him know who we are and what we're doing, and maybe he would like to come and see what we're doing. We have 2 study groups. We have our Friday group is every Friday, and then Paul George runs one for beginners every 2 weeks. So we've been doing this, a long time. But I'd like to talk to Joe about it. And the problem is our hours, like on Friday, we meet at 4, which is 6 o'clock your time. We go
so
4
we're
to 5.
2 hours ahead.
Yeah, you're 2 hours ahead. And
hours
then
ahead.
Paul's class, his is on Wednesday nights. I believe it's 7 o'clock, right? Is it 7:30? Yeah,
7 to 8:30.
7 to 8:30. His is a later one. And that's because a lot of people are working, and that's the best time for them when their kids have gone to bed
Exactly.
and do it. So we've tried to cover both ends. And
Well, if there's something that comes up during the day that,
Yeah.
you know, he may not be able to make the meeting, but just
Yeah.
if there's some
But I'll let him
questions
know.
and like I said, just a real informal,
Absolutely.
just a resource for you.
Well, it's good because he'll have the tones. And when
Yes.
you do a lot of study, I've only been able to embrace the tones the past year or year and a half. But the tones, when you're just studying it and you just look at the word,
Mhm.
it's hard whether it's a drop vowel in there or you shorten the end. That's the hardest part. So
A lot of nasal,
yep,
a lot of nasal.
absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that, and it's remarkable, and it's refreshing, being here and being able to visit with citizens, at large,
Mhm.
the passion, the the sincere desire to connect more. Not that you're not connected, but to, to learn, the study groups. And so thank you for that. And it's just remarkable kind of what you've been doing.
Well, it's like years and years ago, right? When when the Trail of Tears was forced upon the Cherokees. And I think that particular US government at the time was trying to completely rid themselves of the culture and everything of the Cherokees and all the other tribes. And lo and behold, even though we were moved in different places, we still have our source right there at Cherokee Nation. And it's so great that we're able to do that. We're alive, well, and doing remarkably well.
Yeah, thank you for that. It's good to hear.
Well, Sean, my usual answer is we're taking over the world. We're just a little slow about it. We're everywhere now.
Hey, I like that, Joseph. And yep, and that's kind of about the only gear I've got, slow. But thank God I've been steady for 50 years and going slow but surely, and veer off a few times along the way.
Well, the doxies do very, very well.
Hey, the turtles.
The turtles.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 Boy.
Any questions?
Any questions from the group behind us there? We kept you guys.
So is that
waiting.
some young Cherokees back there?
It is.
Yeah, we get some.
All right. So hi there. I'd the mentorship thing is going to grow. And I never know, you guys may come to Oklahoma quite a bit, but some folks I meet don't. And so mentorship, we may have explained. I didn't talk about it today because it's it's so big, the possibilities, the mentorship, we're calling the Zoom mentorship and different things, but just share my number with them. Sounds like the language is alive and getting better every day there, but I've got access to culture, being on the tribal council, young men there, as you grow and get older and start getting out in the world, Cherokee Nation wise, you may have lots of questions, but I can be a good resource for you there to, on some volunteerism, some things that we could do together, educational, but also being in it so long, I've gotten pretty familiar with about every department there at the Nation. So I always like to share that with the young folks because they get out on their own and have families. They might not have the resource or the information at their fingertips, but I'd be glad for anyone to reach out and I could try to help you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
and I'll just say, so we did have a chance to go to a meeting. I think it was in Tacoma, with the school chief Bill Baker at the time. And
Oh, that
there
was so great.
was a lot. Yeah, it was pretty young back then. And get the Cherokee Phoenix, and there was the ad for sound. That's how we learned about this. But yeah, the boys are now in their scouts. There's a lot of service. There's a lot of that helping people. And we are planning to go to Tahlequah. Yeah.
For a holiday?
Yeah, spring break this year. And then swing by Salsa, it's where my family is mostly from.
Oh, Salsa.
Salisbury, huh?
Yeah.
All right. That's Brian Warner country there.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
Brian? Deputy?
But while we're there, to connect with Nation and yeah, maybe there's.
Yeah. Hey,
Good.
I'd love to have, if you get time when you're here, I've got a good crew. It's neat. A lot of the people that volunteer with us, the young folks, I tease them sometimes. Said, why don't you drop out of school and just come to work for us? Well, I'd love to. Of course, we're just kidding. But we got a good crew. So, young men, it never looks bad on a resume. You never can have too many people to make a reference call for you. So just in this volunteer world, I'm sure your good folks there let you know that, but it's not only good to help people, but it don't hurt you as well to kind of rack up some of those volunteer opportunities.
Thank you very much, Sean. We look forward to
Oh,
seeing you in August, hopefully, for holiday.
Mhm.
Well, you'll be up here again.
yes.
Visit in August, right?
Yeah, that was a good trip up there. That was my first time to go through Oregon and of course up through Seattle and
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
up there. And
Are you coming up again this year with him?
I've got all kinds of plans too. I'm one of those that hate to say without good Lord willing, you know. But he's willing, I'm willing. But Joseph, unless there's any other questions, and man, I check that phone, I check my messages, I check my emails. So this is not kind of a one and done conversation. I'd be happy to visit with you Monday morning. Well, Monday we're off work, but I'd still be happy to visit with you. I've got all my stuff here at home. But
I appreciate
Joseph,
you helping us to help get the word out for you.
Mhm.
Give us an opportunity to talk with you and learn more about what you guys are doing. And we'll do our best to help get the information out from here and give you places to help point and share information as well.
let's work together and collaborate. And again, Cherokees helping Cherokees. And
Yeah.
but thank you for this opportunity. And I think we'll be able to consider each other friends and Cherokee brothers and sisters. So you guys have a good evening. Thank you.
You
Bye,
too.
Sean.
No.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Say Stacey. That's for everybody, but Chad Day. For
Yes.
Dr. Say Stacey for you.
Hey, well, thank you. Have a good night.
Mhm.
Bye.